The pharynx will lead into larynx. Larynx is commonly called as the voice box of the organism. Larynx is provided with special kind of muscles externally and the cartilages. They are protective in function. The cartilages includes, in case of mammals, arytenoid cartilage, cricoid cartilage and thyroid cartilages. The thyroid cartilages in case of male organisms, we find extensions towards the ventral side to form the extension of thyroid cartilage called as pomum adami, commonly called as Adam's apple. So Adam's apple in case of male is formed at the larynx region due to the thyroid cartilage which shows its fusion towards the ventral location. And inside of the larynx there are two pairs of vocal cords. Vocal cords are special kind of muscles attached to the cartilaginous structures within. They are called anterior vocal cords and posterior vocal cords. The anterior pair of vocal cords are non-functional, whereas posterior vocal cords are functional in nature. They are helpful in showing the vibrations whenever the air gets expelled out from the lungs. So during expiration, the process of air is pulled out of the lungs, and when it makes its entry during the in the part of the larynx, the vocal cords will vibrate at posterior location, producing the voice or the sound of the individual. Hence they are called as resonating organs. The importance of vocal cords is that in case of males, they are larger in size, they are parallelly localized. And in case of females, they are narrow and they are thinner. In case of males, they are larger and thicker. Both the vocal cords of posterior side are parallelly localized in the structure of larynx. The larynx will lead now down into the structure called trachea. Trachea is a long tube which is seen at the median position. It is thin-walled, flexible tube. This tube internally consists of a lumen, the cavity. The cavity of it is made up of ciliated mucous epithelial cells. These ciliated mucous epithelial cells have the ability of secretion of mucus and kills the bacteria or any other pathogens that enters into the respiratory tract. They also have outside C-shaped incomplete rings on the windpipe, which helps in prevention of the collapse of the windpipe structure. So they help in keeping the human cavity wider all the time. Now the trachea will lead down into the two bifurcated narrow tubes called as primary bronchi. These primary bronchi have the C-shaped rings over it. They are very narrow in nature. The two bronchi, each of which makes its entry into the lungs. The one which enters into right lung is called right bronchi. The one which enters into left lung is called as left primary bronchi. The primary bronchi of the right lung, when we look at, it is said to be very larger in size and shows a direct vertical entry. Thereby, if there is any infections gets into the structure of windpipe, they directly gets into the right lung because the bronchi is wider and it is directly vertical in position, communicating with the right lung. So right lung infection, right lung is prone to infections very commonly. Whereas the left one, when we look at it, is narrow and shows a horizontal entry into the lung structure. So this is about the importance of the primary bronchi. The primary bronchi, after its entry into the lungs, it will divide into minute branches which are narrower in size, but they don't have the rings. So actually it doesn't have any rings. So rings are absent right from the structure of secondary bronchi. So this secondary bronchi are the branches of the primary bronchi. The secondary bronchi further branches to form much narrower tubes called as tertiary bronchi. The tertiary bronchi will end up with the minute tubes called as bronchioles. Each of these bronchiole will lead into a grape of bunch-like structures within the lungs, which are called as alveolar sacs. Each alveolar sac will have the unit of sac referred as the alveoli. This is the location, this is the part where actual exchange of respiratory gases takes place or the respiratory process takes place, and hence alveoli are called as the seats of respiration in case of the mammals.